Salvator Mundi, a painting by Leonardo da Vinci that sold last year for a whopping $450 million. Now, it's a work which is about 26 inches by 19 inches. So what do you think this Middle Eastern tycoon was buying? Was he buying this work? Was he buying to own a part of Da Vinci? Was he buying a part of the Renaissance? Or was he just trying to claim history? The truth is, it's all the above. Because art is just that. Art is history. It is an indicator of where we come from, who we were, who we are, and most importantly, who we can be. From these delicate cave paintings painted by man 40,000 years ago at Sulawesi in Indonesia, to this stunning Mark Rothko, art is a physical manifestation of the Homo sapien journey. You know, when we're looking at incredible pieces of art, like the Water Lilies by Claude Monet, at that moment, all other problems in the world fade away, and all that remains is the calm in one's soul. The ability of an artwork to evoke that emotional response, that rasa, the ability of it to help us transcend our physical limitations. Now, isn't that one of life's goals? To help us transcend and feel the infinite while being rooted in the physical? In this day of digital overwhelmment, where we're being bombarded by data, and it's leaving us feeling overwhelmed and dulled, isn't it art that could perhaps give us that pause and give us back that power to feel? I could go on and on about art and history, but I really want to focus on one of the most profound impacts of art in our lives, that on soft power. Now, soft power was a term coined by a man called Joseph Nye, who said it was the ability to attract or co-opt rather than coerce by force. Essentially, the positive influence of a country via channels like culture, education, political values. Now, museums that house a nation's riches are one of the strong indicators of soft power. Last year, 3 museums in Paris received 14.5 million visitors. Do you know how many all of India got? 10 million visitors. Now, for a lot of us, this could be almost depressing. However, I see it as a great opportunity. In a country that is almost 5,000 years old, do we not know a thing or two about art and culture? So what's holding us back? Not only does it help us wield a power over the world via our cultural influence, museums in America contribute about $12 billion to the revenue. Do you know what the entire budget for culture in India is in a year? Less than $500 million. So what's holding us back? A lot of people claim the government is holding us back. Now, with the dire needs of our country that the government must address, can we not take responsibility? If the technology sector grew despite the government, can't this? 12 years ago, when I began working in art, I was a quintessential cribber. I was constantly complaining, only focusing on the lack of everything. When one fine day, a dear friend sat me down and said to me, Aparajita, stop cribbing, take responsibility, and do whatever you can do. So after a few months of this humility check, which was rather rude, I must say, I began really thinking. I began wondering and speaking to people. I spoke to economists, to advisors, to policymakers, to patrons, and to other great thinkers. We dialogued ad nauseum about what it would take for us to get India on the soft power map. So a few things came out. Number one, that we had an amazing number of heritage sites, many of which were languishing in the country, that could be used. Actually, ASI lists the sites as 3,650 in India. Those are listed. God knows how many other unlisted sites exist. And the second thing was using the private-public partnership model to further the cause of museums, art, and soft power in India. So the 3 of us began our experiment. We decided to unleash ourselves on making India's first sculpture park in a heritage site. However, we had no funding, we had no site. only a deep desire and love for art in India. So we approached the government of Rajasthan, who were very willing. They showed us about 10 sites, amongst one was Nahargarh Fort. But finally, we chose a jewel called Nahargarh Fort atop a hill on the periphery of Jaipur. It took us 9 months from signing the MOU to opening India's first international sculpture park with 61 sculptures with 23 artists in this 500-year-old fort. It's been funded by the CSR of over 12 companies. The results have been astonishing. Not only in 11 months have we seen the ticket sales go up by 30%. Now, this money doesn't come to us. It goes to the state government. But the most fascinating bit is the cross-section of society we see. We see school kids. We see college kids. We've seen people like Ariana Huffington come in. We've seen the local villager. We've seen people across class, caste, religion, creed, race, color. Now, isn't that powerful? Recently, Wall Street Journal mentioned this as a must-visit in Jaipur. Now, this is in 11 months of it happening, and 3 people who stopped cribbing. Can you imagine what would happen if more of us joined this journey? What if we were to adopt 10 such sites across India and create experience centers by infusing contemporary art into these places that were once bustling with life? What if then we were to put these online and make them come to life with new technologies like VR and augmented reality so that they could reach the farthest corners of the world? What if we finally decided to focus on the intangible assets India has? I'd like to end with a quote by Mark Twain. India is a cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. Our most valuable and most instructive materials in the history of man are treasured up in India only. It is my dream that we can preserve and perpetuate this India that we believe in together. Thank you.